Hello and welcome. I'm Anne. Winter is a time when plants and the soil get a chance to rest ahead of the next busy growing season. I've read that it's a time when vines and fruit trees get pruned because they're dormant. And last year I had a dormant season in my life, a time when things got pruned out of it. To cut a long story short, in 2018 I made the decision to leave the paid workforce. I'd always found my work fulfilling and was confident my work had value to people, and I loved working in teams. I found that I really appreciated people who were able to help me expand my thinking and improve my capacity to do my job well. But my work was stressful and very demanding. I felt like a piece of elastic that had been stretched far too long for way too long. And so I knew it was the right time for me to leave. But that begged the question, what next? And it was during 2018 that I believe God said to me, "Let me take you into an unknown future. Just trust me." Toward the end of that year, I received another word from the Lord, which was, "It's time to rest by still waters." In January 2019, I heard a sermon about God the Father pruning branches on the true vine, which is Jesus, and his purpose was to remove what had finished producing fruit and to clear the way for new growth, new fruit. During last year, there were a few times during that period of rest when I just got a bit sick of that, and I wanted to get in, I wanted to do things. And Jesus just gently reminded me, "No, Anne, this rest time hasn't finished for you. I want you to simply be, not to do." While I spent time resting and reflecting by still waters, God slowly and graciously restored me physically, mentally and emotionally, and spiritually. I had a few health issues that needed fixing. Years of stress had taken their toll, and the impact of that needed to be undone, cut out, so to speak. And God gave me a word from Isaiah. "In repentance and rest is your salvation. In quietness and trust is your strength." There were also past situations that had caused bitterness to start growing in me. God gave me a word from the Hebrews book. "See to it that no one misses the grace of God, and that no bitter root grows up to cause trouble." Those words constantly replayed in my mind as, get rid of that bitter root that's growing within you. Well, that one took a fair bit of work, I have to say. And I really needed God's grace to help me get rid of my bitter roots. As I took time to rest in the silence of God's presence, He also revealed experiences from my past that I hadn't even realized were negatively influencing how I thought about myself and how I acted. And I needed to deal with those things. For that, He gave me words of encouragement from the Passion Translation of the Song of Songs. "Let me see your radiant face and hear your sweet voice. How beautiful your eyes of worship and lovely your voice in prayer. You must catch the troubling foxes, those sly little foxes that hinder our relationship, for they raid our budding vineyard of love to ruin what I've planted in you. Will you catch them and remove them for me? We will do it together. I love that last line, that when I'm having trouble catching those foxes, Jesus comes alongside and helps me. In a wonderful way, he also reminded me of a particular regret I'd been long holding, of a season that had been and gone, but that I hadn't wanted to have end. And he helped me come to terms with that loss in a way that I could celebrate everything about that season and finally release it. As God did this pruning work in me during my season of rest, I began to more clearly hear and see what he wanted to reveal. Then in late 2019 and early this year, new growth began to spring from where he'd pruned me. And Evenings with Anne is one of those new sprouts. I'd want to leave you now with some encouragement and a blessing. May the Father prune and renew you. May the Son help you catch the sly little foxes that trouble you. May the Spirit's life strengthen and make you fruitful. May the Three-in-One's love give you peace. Bye for now.